Hey, beautiful soul. Welcome to The Cosmic Catch-Up. I'm Corri.
And I'm Dana. We're real-life sisters who said no thanks to the 9-to-5 grind and yes, please, to the stars, spirit, and soul-led living.
Around here, we're talking ascension, astrology, human design, sound healing, and the messy magic of waking up.
So if you've ever thought, there's got to be more than this, you're our people. Two sisters, deep talks, whole lot of magic. Let's catch up. What's up, Corri?
Hi, Dana. Good to see you.
So good to see you today.
So I'm really excited about our podcast today.
Me
I mean,
too.
I'm excited about every podcast. Let's
Today
be
is
clear.
special, though. Today feels special.
And you know why?
Why?
You know why. But for you, we have a very special guest today. I know we're super excited. So we're really grateful to our friend Vivian Hughes, who's joining us today. So she is the founder of 360 Mindful Solutions, which is a coaching and leadership agency that helps high-achieving professionals lead with more clarity, resilience, and well-being.
So cool.
Right? She's also the enterprise learning leader at Logan Finance, where she's shaping culture and developing leaders across the organization. So Vivian brings a powerful mix of mindfulness, strategy, and heart to everything she does, and we're so excited to dive in. We're going to hear from her not only about mindfulness, but about her spiritual journey. Probably throw in how we all met.
Yes.
And what she's been up to since that happened. So
yeah, I think it's going to be great.
why don't we kick off? And here's Vivian.
Let's get into it.
Okay. So, Viv.
Hey, Corri. Hi, Dana.
Welcome.
We're excited to have you here today. How's it been going?
It's weird.
It 100% is. We
Yeah.
talk about how weird the energy is and has been.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not just us that feels it. That's good.
I didn't sleep well last night. I don't know how you guys are doing.
I don't know the last time I slept well. And I
oh.
used to could sleep anytime,
Yeah.
all night. Not anymore. I'm up at 3, and then there's these haunting thoughts, no matter what. It's something. And then the dreams have been ridiculously disturbing. Yeah.
Well, that's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. It has
Oh,
been.
you know what? It sounds like you're purging.
Big time. And I feel like with the dreams, there's a lot of that I don't remember, but there's a lot that I do remember.
Mm.
And with the stuff that I'm remembering, a friend of mine called and they said, I had a very disturbing dream about you last night on the heels of a disturbing dream that I had.
Ooh, I don't like that. It's intense.
Yeah.
So, and there were some things going on that we were able to support each other through. But there's stuff going on, and it's if you are not grounded to me in this cosmic consciousness, like if you're not great, you'll just lose it.
Agreed.
Yeah, I definitely would agree with that. I think I have had to adjust my definition of sleeping well because it is not what it used to be. So I would say I'm sleeping like I usually do, but I would not say it's well.
Okay. Well, and it sounds like this is why, I mean, it's a good conversation into mindfulness because we talk about grounding and having something to hold on to in the spirit of the crazy and having somewhere to focus, I think, is really important.
Yeah, and I think what Dana just said, releasing the expectation of what it is supposed to be like is helping get to the other side of it or navigate through it, for me anyway.
Yeah, that's great. Well, we've got a lot of questions for you today, so get ready. I think we will start, though, with more about your business, but then I am going to backtrack into your spiritual awakening because I want to start with, because we said we would talk about mindfulness.
Yeah.
And with your company, 360 Solutions, you have been focused on teaching mindfulness, yes? So what does mindfulness mean to you?
And because we know each other so well, I have to tell you that there is no business without the journey to mindfulness.
Right.
The business is a byproduct of what brought me into mindfulness. And
I
it
love
wasn't
it.
a gentle.
I think we backtracked. We started at the beginning.
I know. I'm like, well, okay.
Yeah. So I don't even know that I was in touch with mindfulness prior to divorce and prior to relocation and life happening. And it was, if I have to continue to live, there's no way this can be what I think, do, feel, experience. And mindfulness through some books that I read, Joe Dispenza, and just tapping into new information. I think Vishen Lakhiani's Code of an Extraordinary Mind
Mm-hmm.
was one of the first books that I read that really challenged my belief system.
Okay.
And it's like, if what you're believing doesn't serve you, why are you believing it?
It's a very good
Love
point.
that.
Yeah, it's a very good point.
So had you gone through a spiritual awakening yet at this point?
No.
Okay.
And I feel like it was the Code of the Extraordinary Mind, along with Eckhart Tolle's A New Earth, and then Joe Dispenza. So it was all of the Michael Bernard Beckwith. These are people who I just started popping up on my YouTube and on different platforms. And everything that they said helped me to understand that it doesn't matter that your ego is saying, but I did everything right. Why did my marriage end? Or I did everything right. Why didn't it work? Because you really didn't do everything right. There's no such thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's that. So, but listening to them helped me to understand that there's a much bigger picture. There's so much at play here. And I could release the story of victimhood. I could let all my villains go. And learning that, everything that I learned, I always wanted to share and teach. And so that's when the business started to form, because I was helping women at first, like brand new me. It was about creating your brand. How do you want to show up regardless of what's happening? How do you want to show up? And then it ended up pivoting to corporate during the pandemic. So some corporations wanted the same thing, same type of support, because people were struggling.
Why do you think, because I have seen it take off more in corporate America,
Mhm.
why do you think it has become so popular?
I feel like there's no other choice. It's a human thing. I don't think corporate is separate. We don't have the luxury of having that dividing line. We're a whole person, and when the whole movement, bring your whole self to work, and all these different things, we're so dynamic as humans. It's hard to say, okay, when I come to work now, I have to not, think on these things or whatever. So I think the leaders are tapping into mindfulness, and they're like, you know what, it helped me. Let me see if it'll help my team.
Do you think those that start, because you went down a journey then, how long would you say it took you to let go of the victimhood? Because I think a lot of people are living in victimhood today, and we're not an exception. We all have been there, right? So if someone said, you know what, I'm tired of being a victim, how quickly could mindfulness start helping them pull themselves out? Was it a decision you just decided to make and then said no more and then move forward?
Yeah, it's a pivot. It's a decision. I don't want to be a victim, because for me, if I was a victim in one aspect, it carried over into every aspect. And I didn't want to be perceived as a victim at work or a victim. And I have this thing with, and it's a trigger, like people who feel like somebody is doing something to them and they've lost their power. And I always want my power. So me having this affinity to my power, I was like, something's got to give. So what do I need to change? Oh, the story that I'm telling myself about the person who is doing this to me. So for instance, if my ex-husband and I at the time were disagreeing about something, and I had to pivot from saying, you know what, you're not my source, you're the vessel. I won't lack this thing. It just won't come from you, whatever that is, picking up the kids or whatever the fight could be, minor or major. And I could release the expectation that you are supposed to. No, I'm going to be good regardless.
I love that.
Powerful.
Yeah.
And to your point, bringing that power back to yourself, not giving it away.
Not giving it away.
Well, and I think it goes back to conversations that we've had about being the main character of your own story. because we relinquish that a lot. I just had a friend who it just happened, something very similar. It was this kind of this victim mentality. And I said, this isn't about you. When are you gonna stop making it about you?
Yeah.
Let it go.
Yeah.
It's not important.
And who am I becoming because of this? Like, that was my empowering question. Now, why me? And something as recent as this morning, things keep happening. Life doesn't stop. But instead of, okay, why do I have to keep going through this? The same thing over and over. It's like, you know what? What? And it came from Michael Bernard Beckwith, too. I have to give folks their credit. What's emerging or what's trying to emerge through me or for me? What is in this? There's a reason this is happening. What is it? Who am I becoming as a result of this? Because I really don't want to stay who I've been. So this is putting me on the trajectory to that.
So it sounds like it starts with a choice.
A choice.
You recognized a situation that you didn't want to be in or feeling that you didn't want to keep having. And so you made the choice. The first step is to make the choice to make a change.
Oh, tweet.
Well, sure somebody else has said that. I'm sure I picked it up from the collective.
She's a brilliant one.
She is.
She's a smart one here.
Both are.
Love that. You're right.
Yeah.
It's a choice. So you made the choice.
Yeah.
You started mindfulness. Now let's weave in your spiritual awakening. So you're on this trajectory. You moved to Dallas with your kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then what?
Life keeps happening. And I want life to feel more meaningful than it does. And I start following the nudges.
Your intuition kicked in.
Big time. I found something somewhere that said, how to trust your intuition 101 or something. And I found a piece of paper that I had written maybe 10 years ago now that says, I can trust what I think. I trust my discernment. And it was just all these affirmative things that feel like, well, of course I do, but I didn't at one point. And I think finding that piece of paper helped me to be more compassionate too for myself when I forget and for others when I'm like, come on, don't you get it?
Well, I think for most of us, we have been taught to not trust our intuition, right? We've kind of stuffed it down and it's always been there, but it's typically a subtle nudge. And it's when you start saying, you know what, I'm going to listen to that. And we have to break up the intuition from our head because our head wants it, and our ego, that wants to overrule those intuitive nudges. And so the more that we can focus and follow that intuition, I think it leads us down a strong path.
I thought about too, when I get to the end, do I want to look back and say, okay, I did everything that everybody thought that I should have done, or I took the advice, I followed the script, or do I want to see how it works if I do what I want to do? How does it work out if I show up how I want to show up? And I don't want that to be a regret, which was all a part of the whole mindfulness thing. Like, well, I did what I was supposed to do. I was the daughter. I was this. I did the. And I'm like, I don't want to do that again in the next 20 years or whatever.
Life didn't feel good doing that. And I think it sounds like what you're saying is really about figuring out how to show up as your authentic self.
Yep.
Like, I've been all of these roles, the ego, the stories we tell ourselves. And then it was like, but that's not who I feel like I am. So then who am I?
Yes. And then fast forward to an astrology reading and my human design chart and my numerology and all the things. And I'm like, yes, I believe in God and universe. I believe there's a higher power, but I also believe that there's something to do with my astrology. And there's so much that I believe if I take off the restraints. And that's a part of what the work that I do in my company is helping people be okay with what it is that's nudging them inside. Like, let's lean into it. Let's have those conversations that you're scared to say with somebody else because that's going to reveal you.
Yeah.
So
do you work one-on-one or is it with groups?
Both one-on-one and groups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going through all this. You've moved here. And then we meet.
Mm-hmm.
So how did we meet on your journey? As part of your journey, how did we all come together? Yeah.
It's this cosmic intertwining. It's amazing. So through different jobs and a friend of a friend. And then something happened. I think it was 2018, 2019,
Yeah.
where some things were clunky. One of the companies that I was working with wasn't, because I've been my business as well as in corporate as well. So I have both. Well, the corporate job, something happened there. I think it closed or something. And then I met a good friend who's our mutual friend, and she introduced me to intuitive happy hour.
To Ginny Hussey.
We talk about that a lot.
We do talk about her a lot.
Yes.
Yes.
So, and then we just all kind of like magnetized together because things like we were all in the same grade universally.
Yes, I would agree with that. It felt like we were all kind of battling similar issues and in sort of the same place in our awakening to the spiritual side of things. And I mean, I loved it in those happy hours. You would just say the thing that we were all thinking, like, this is hard, or this is dumb, or I don't get it. And I'd be like, yes, what she
You
said.
did not shy away, which was amazing.
It's like, where's the benefits package? Yes. Where's the testimonial? Who has survived this?
But I think that's a testament to your manifesting generator, because when you speak, you are heard. And even in your chart, you have the gate of grace, and there's a way that you can communicate that can be direct, but still comes across graceful and
Charming.
smooth and lovely. You, whether you see it or not, the rest of us are like, "Oh, I want to talk like Vivian talks."
It's impressive.
Yes.
You.
So I can see why. And we have done some of your meditations, and you have a very soothing, comforting voice that I can see would play so well in your business and how people just are drawn to you.
Wow.
Do
Those
you,
were the greatest compliments. Well, thank you. And
well,
Jenny told me early on when I was working with her privately, she said, I need you to get to the place where you just talk. Don't be so concerned with what you say right now, because there's a frequency in your voice that has work to do, and the words will come. Just don't be afraid to talk. She said, you're supposed to talk. Oh,
you are.
Says the Gemini. Yes, you're supposed to talk. 100%.
Oh my gosh. I love
So
well,
articulate.
And I think because you have the gate of caution, I think you were probably a little more timid. And I don't know how far back or when you started really finding that power, but it's not, again, looking at your chart, I happened to be perusing it the other day and I was like, oh, this makes so much sense.
yeah. If I could just live my life and only talk to myself and a few individuals intimately, I would. It's a stretch for me to show up anywhere and say anything to anybody.
And what I hear from you right now is your 5-2 profile, because as everyone knows, the 5 is really about helping the collective, which what you're saying is you're shying away from that. The 2 is like the gifted child. You innately have gifts that you don't even know you have. The 2s, and they want to hermit away because they're too afraid to show those gifts, and they don't seem like gifts to you, but to everyone else. And so when you're called out, meaning, come on, Viv, those gifts shine. Whether you know it or not, they shine, and then you allow those gifts to help the collective through your 5. So again, you're like, I just want to stay here. No, you're meant to be big, right? And it comes through in the work that you do and the people that you support and help, which is amazing. But we've also witnessed Viv's hermiting. And you're not shy about saying you need to hermit, which is also really important to recognize when it's time to be away and time to be out.
Good friends who accept you for that. Like when you guys were doing something, I think there was a trip a couple years ago, and I'm like, I'm just going to hermit right now. And you guys are like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
And there's no judgment.
We'll see you when you're done.
Yeah.
Let us know when you're
Ready to
cave.
go.
Yeah, when you're done with the cave. We'll be here.
And that's a lot, because to me, finding your tribe, finding those people who are just, I think we also put something in the chat one day, like picking a restaurant or something. And I think it was too wide open. And then there were a couple choices out there, this or this. And it's like, oh, okay, that works. because I need a this or this.
That's right.
That's somewhere in that.
Those generators do. That's right. Yes and no. And you have to wait till something lights you up. And if none of them light you up, you're just fine going, you know what, I'm going to pass. And that's good because you're following your strategy. I know we have talked a lot about your human design. And as we talk about mindfulness, I actually wanted to take a look at your chart and found you actually have several gates where you truly embody mindfulness. And you also have the ability to teach it. So it is very natural for you. So a couple of the gates, and I don't know if these will ring a bell to you at all, and you actually have a channel in this as well, but fixed rhythm is the gate 5. And that is all about, Dana has this as well, it's about natural flow, routines, being in the present moment. So it was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And then gate 52, which I'm very envious that you have it, it's the gate of stillness. So of course, that lends itself really well. It is what they call the poster child for mindfulness. It's in the root. So it's all about having the ability to hold that pressure and stay still and be in the moment. It's being grounded, right? And then because it's in Mercury, you've got actually the gate of stillness is your Mercury and South node. That means you have the ability to communicate and teach it. So that's super cool. And then I mentioned your gate 22, the gate of grace. This brings grace under pressure. So again, if you think about being in the workforce or coaching people, you have that ability to help guide others through that emotional awareness. And we talked a lot about the emotional awareness, but your gate 22 certainly lends it to that. And just being attuned to timing and the presence. And it's in Mars. And so you actually may learn through emotional overwhelm in it. And sounds like some of the conversation we had was through that. So that makes a ton of sense. And then because I think it's your conscious Mars. So after you go through that, it then allows you to help teach others. Then you've got gate 47, and you might have gate 47. I can't remember. It's in your ajna. It's the gate of realization. And so this gate actually thrives on contemplation. And just thinking about all the things. And it's really taking things that come in through the other gate, which is confusion, and taking that and then trying to transform that into something that you can understand and process, if that makes sense.
It does.
And so it's often, and that gate works really well when there's stillness, introspection, and reflection, which you get through mindfulness. And then the last gate, which is tied, it actually creates a channel with gate 52, the gate of stillness. It's the gate of focus. And that basically, you can focus on the details. We both have the gate of focus. And so when you have something that's really important, what's beautiful about the channel is because when it's tied to stillness, it allows you to be in the moment and really hone in on the thing that you want to focus on and give all your attention to it and be in it, right? And you have the pressure through that gate of stillness, we call it the mountain. But having that ground you allows you then to push forward and keep moving on that focus. And so let me see if there's anything else. So it can also help you to feel drawn towards practices that maintain attention, like meditation, breath work, or focused intention. So look at that. Look at how that human design comes through.
You were born to do this.
Yes. Truly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 gates. 5 gates specifically that. And again, the gates have breadth of a lot of different things, but those specifically, when you look at meditation, are just prone to help support in that area. So love it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very cool.
Living your design.
Unapologetically. I think unapologetically getting to the place where it's like, okay, I should want to do this, or I should want to not be still. I got to do, and I can be still for too long.
I don't think it's a bad thing.
No.
I don't think it's a bad thing. And should is could with shame on it, right?
Yes.
As Brene Brown says. So we have to let go of those shoulds and follow your sacral, your uh-huhs and your uh-uhs and your emotional waves, and do what lights you up. And I think you are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am. And between the human design, the astrology, I think it's more for me permission to be what's already there, but I was trying to do something that goes along with whatever I was indoctrinated into.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't have to, it's okay to whatever. And I'm like, I want to do mindfulness. And it's like, I didn't really have a choice if you look at that.
You did not. It spoke very naturally to you.
You were
Yes.
made for this. Yeah.
But I think we find that, and if you listen to your intuition,
Yeah.
you also have the gate of intuition. When you listen to that, it leads you naturally to the places that you are gifted in.
Yeah.
And to your point, I think if more people understood, because we go through the indoctrination, and I remember my quote unquote midlife crisis where I was like, what else could I do? And I thought, I'm stuck in this because I don't know how to do anything else, which was completely untrue. But I was indoctrinated with this idea of I had to stay on this certain path. And now looking at my design, it's like, oh, I'm doing now exactly what I was intending to do. But I wished I'd known that, 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
So
Hindsight.
Hindsight. At the
For sure.
same time,
But we get there.
we get there right when we're supposed to. Because any earlier, it might have played out differently.
That's right.
And what do we do now? That's the thing. Okay, now that we know, what do we want to do for the next 10 years or the next 10 minutes? Like, what do you want to do going forward? So
That's right.
yeah,
And if you're
this
doing
is
what
so
lights
cool.
you up, it's then how do you build that? And again, you have the gate of ambition. So, of course, anything you put your mind to, that's also a money gate. So, anything you put your mind to, it's achievable. I mean, shoot, I could just go through a whole reading right now. Like, anytime
And
I
I
look,
could sit here and listen to the whole thing.
anytime I look at someone's chart, and by the way, this happens every single time. I'm like, oh my God, this is the coolest chart. Oh my God, I love these gates. And I say that about everyone because everyone is so different and special. But we talked about your fixed rhythm, but you also have that in a channel of the gate of extremes, which is what I have. So when we're together, it creates a channel. But it's a beautiful mix of this going to extremes, but having that constant rhythm, right? So I just love it's like the ebb and flow of having those routines and those rituals at the same time, being able to be flexible and adaptable and move with the flow, which is awesome. So I get caught up in different things, but yeah, just really cool stuff. So
Thank you for that.
you're welcome.
It's so cool. Human design and astrology. I feel like all of these self-discovery methodologies are keys to accessing something in ourselves that allow us to enjoy this existence when it's hard. Because it's like, oh, okay, you know what? I could just go into this. Makes sense. This is why. Oh, I have 8th house sun Saturn. That's why everything is so hard. Like,
Well, we want to make sense of it, right?
and if you know not to expect something different, it makes it easy.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
It's like,
agree.
not easy, but
Tolerable.
tolerable. You get it.
More graceful. Yes.
Well, and you had for a time. Let's talk about Psych-K.
Okay.
Because I also found that very fascinating. And tell us about your journey with Psych-K, what it is, and then how you got involved in it. Thoughts on it?
So, caveat, I'm not going to describe it the way the Psych-K gurus are going to describe it. So, if you see this and you wish I would have said it differently, my bad. So, a lie detector test, right? So, your body is basically a human lie detector test, which is nowhere in the Psych-K paperwork, right?
I agree with you, though.
So, muscle testing, if there's a belief that that's sabotaging you or that's holding you back, we can muscle test and see, do you believe this or do you not believe it? And then there is a way to influence your subconscious mind. So there's some underlying thoughts that you may or may not be aware of. And we'll go through the protocols and the processes to help you make those connections. And then after that, we test and you see that it's strong because the system is in place. Now you have to take the action over the next several days that support that. So it's not like at the end of a session, oh, I stopped smoking or something. It's like you still have to put some things in place to support that, but you will have the fundamental belief system in place to.
Well, it's like we talk about, our bodies are operating systems. And so you're reprogramming
Yes.
the system.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
To away and eliminate those limiting or challenging beliefs that
Yes.
you've created or absorbed.
Just like if you were to go to your laptop and you need to do an Excel document, but you don't have Excel, you don't have sheets, you don't have anything to do it. It's impossible. But if we put Excel on your laptop, now it exists. It's up to you to fulfill the potential, but it's there. You do. Yeah.
Love that. Do you keep up with Psych-K much anymore? Or?
I do. I can find because I do a self-test and I can tell when it's like, okay, I believe this. And then when I do a test and I'm like, no, you're showing up weak in that. So you don't have that subconscious program to support it. So I'll do a muscle test and do a Psych-K balance to lock it in.
Install that program.
Yeah, I love that.
Okay, so we talked about how we met through Ginny's, through the happy hours. Where has that led you? So you've been doing work, let's say, on yourself for a number of years. How do you see your progress? Do you see value in it? Like, tell us a little bit about that.
So much progress, so much value. But it's not when I look at where I want to go. It's when I look at my level of peace in the midst of all the things, because the things are still happening. I think I had a misconception early on because I thought life was supposed to become a little easier. I had the cheat codes.
God, I wish.
Not the case. So I feel like I'm still in kindergarten. I don't feel as if I'm graduating from this thing, but I do feel I have the tools to have a peace of mind in challenging times. I feel like my snapback is I can get back in the posture of in command or personal power, or it really doesn't matter anyway, so let it go. Like whatever I need to lean into so that I can keep moving forward. I feel like that is I won't say I've mastered it, but it's always right there. I can always get that self-check. But I feel like every day life is still glitchy.
We're in the middle of the glitches, I would say. We're moving through the ascension process, the planet, people, consciousness, all of that, and we're doing better. But with that, the ucky stuff has to purge, has to come out. And then we're all forced to face it and deal with it, whether it's personal to our personal lives or in the collective. I think, like we're just sort of in the middle of it. I do see hope on the horizon for where we're going, things to smooth out and get easier. But we're just still in the middle of the glitch.
In our lifetime.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In our
Great.
lifetime.
Yeah.
Excellent.
For sure in our lifetime.
This one will give us, and I'm like, oh, well, maybe we won't realize it, but the next.
Yeah, no, I
Close.
do think we will see it in our lifetimes as far as, a much better world.
Okay.
And, I have some beliefs on age regression and all that, and you can be here as long as you want, and you can see as much of it as you want. So, but if you want to leave early, you can leave early too, right? Like the idea of, I know you're not one to stay.
But you haven't been because of the way things have been.
Have
But
been.
man, where we're going, maybe you'll want to.
I'm going to have to see this brochure.
Yeah, right? I think we have to temper that with, as you said at the beginning, when we're talking about this victim mentality, I believe we create our reality with our thoughts. So when you said, I'm going to change my mind, I'm going to change things, that's when things started to change. You took action based on those thoughts. You read books, you started consuming different thoughts and different ideas, and then kind of wove them all together to make sense to you. And that sort of guides where you go from there. So as we are all collectively thinking about, well, what do I want to experience? How do I want to be in this lifetime more of my authentic self, and understanding the tools, whether it's human design or astrology or many other tools out there that help you sort of identify with who you were born to be, and then start practicing that and living that, then the experience in the outer world starts to change around us. Now, we're also doing that collectively. So we still have to battle all the people who are still staying in low vibration. So as we all rise, the outer world will then change too. So when I think about like, you want the brochure is whatever you want it to be. So if you want the jet and you want the vacations and you want the whatever, then yeah, that's where we focus on. And we talk about a little bit of quantum physics. I'm not a quantum physicist, but I love
She
how
plays one
I
on
play
TV.
one on TV. I love how it really kind of proves out the woo if you need proof, in that sense of like, they know that particles, don't really come into existence until there's a focus put on them. So whatever we have or want in our lives, it doesn't come into existence until we put a focus on it and a thought on it. And it's not to say that you're holding on so tight, but it's like, I just think it, trust it, let it go. And when we get to that phase of instant manifestation, I think it could be really cool to be here.
I want to be in her world.
Same.
I live in Delulu land
No.
for sure.
Not necessarily. And again, believe it.
But I feel like, yeah, like believe it and then you see it type of thing. And it's a practice because we have stuff. We have the yuck and the things that we're dealing with. And so I still have days like that I'm like, okay, well, is that what I want to focus on? Or do I want to focus on something super fun and exciting? And I'd rather focus on that.
Well, and in the meantime, because we are in a lot of yuck, for people who aren't necessarily familiar with mindfulness, we may talk about a few myths. Like, is mindfulness the same as meditation, for example? Because for me, meditation's really hard. Can I still be mindful?
Absolutely. You can absolutely be mindful and not meditate. Because for me, in definitions, mindfulness is just in the present. You're present. So you may never do a meditation, but you are very crafty. I have a beautiful blanket that you made for one of my birthdays. So that's a meditation in and of itself. That's mindfulness. You're present, you're in the moment. You're not doing this, but your head is somewhere else. That's mindfulness. Mindfulness, just bring it back. It might be gardening or golf or just
washing the dishes.
Well, I was going to say
No,
things you
it's
love.
never washing the
My
dishes.
mind is not with the dishes when I'm washing them. But it could be taking a walk, doing an activity. So anything that you enjoy, basically, you could be mindful.
Yeah, or even if you don't necessarily enjoy it, but you're paying attention to it. You're bringing mindfulness to it. Like, okay, I'm doing the thing.
Okay.
To me.
Yeah.
I like it.
I love it. I think that's great.
Yeah.
So how do you help when companies call you and they say, we want to bring in mindfulness? What does that look like?
So typically it's from a leadership and a team culture perspective right now. And it's helping teams bring back the art of civility so that even if we don't agree, because we don't have to, we know how to treat each other, we know how to talk to each other, we can communicate our differences. We also have tools to know when we should put a pin in it because this isn't going anywhere. And above all else, making sure you're heard, because oftentimes the person that you're talking to, people will complain and say, they don't even listen to me. They're not even listening. They're not listening. Like, they don't listen. And the amount of times I hear they don't listen. And it's like, and the other party would say, like, I am listening. What are you saying? Like, but giving people tools to hold space for others to say what it is they need to say. And it may not even be all verbal. Maybe there's, okay, let's just put this in bullets. Let's learn our different methods of communication before you come to a meeting and try to talk it out. What's the way to communicate this to your audience? And in this case, you're dealing with the person with I do DISC as well, like a high D. You need to hit them with bullets. You've already lost them when you get into context. So know your audience. And I put that back on the person who feels like they're not listened to. It's like, well, are you tweaking your presentation? Or are you boring them?
Yeah.
Or
are you saying a lot of words?
Yeah.
I wish everyone knew their human design type, because that would really help with communication.
That would help.
But I love that. And I think what you're saying seems spot on to what I'm hearing in the current environment. I think because of all the external factors and stresses, Dana, that you talked about, I think it's just compounding, especially in the workplace where you're surrounded by everyone's energy. You're so caught up in your own stuff, and then trying to get stuff done, you have to work with other people, and it just starts to clash.
Yep. And if you can get to the place where which is what I do for myself and I help others not take things personally. If you just don't take it personal, even if they're directing it towards you, it seems really crystal clear that this is towards you. You don't have to take it, and you don't have to return shots fired. Because we don't match energy, we set the tone. So you may come at me crazy and I'm not going to give it back to you unless I just want to, but that's still my choice. I'm going to require you to witness my energy just like you're requiring me to witness yours.
I love that so much. And because, sorry, I just get brain of human design. 50% of the population have emotional solar plexus. And so they're very emotional. And then you get those that are open solar plexus, they amplify that energy. So to your point, it's a choice. Do you ride your emotional wave and let it go? Or are you going to go on the attack, which is just going to make things worse? So exactly what you said is everything is a choice. How you're going to respond is a choice. So if someone wanted to be, so we talk about mindfulness, you can go do things, but you could just take a few breaths, right? Just take a beat.
Take a beat, put a pin in it.
Walk away.
Hush. And a hush came over the crowd. Just don't say it. Just don't say that thing. Just wait.
I like what you were saying about you're setting the tone with your energy. So it doesn't really matter what other energies might be coming at you, what other emotions people are feeling. You don't have to pick it up. You don't have to engage with it. And to own your power would then be to own your emotional space and own your tone and not allow the external to impact you, which is, I think, amazing.
Yeah. And then so for me too, it's stages of it. You know, some part of it is kind of obnoxious. It's like, you're not impacting me. But then there's a compassionate component too, where it's like, I get it. Are you okay? Like, what I'm getting is this. Is this what you intended for me to pick up from this? And sometimes when you ask the question, it makes the person kind of and that's what we do with the business coaching and consulting. It's just position it back as a question as opposed to retaliating. Just that one pivot can help somebody say, you know what? I didn't mean to say it like that. My kid just this, or my AC just this, or this just this. And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
So.
Have you always been able to disassociate other people's emotions? Or was that a practice that you had to really instill? Because for me, it's been an ongoing practice, and it's real hard.
Real hard, ongoing practice.
Okay.
Yeah. Your question made me think back, and I owned everything. And I even had a boss who's a really good friend today, but told me, you take things so personal. You take everything so personal. And I'm like, but I'm a person. You're supposed to take it personal. What do you take it? Clock? You take it table? Take it personal. And I didn't get it because that language didn't say whatever somebody is doing, you're not taking a step back to get the bigger picture. And I was like, yeah.
So what are, for people who are interested in starting down that path of mindfulness and recognizing their own victimhood and saying, I'm done with this, how can I be more mindful? What's a recommended step that they should take? An easy first thing to start doing?
An easy first thing, to me, the gateway to this, Joe Dispenza just made this work so easy for me. It's like, guard your gates. Be very mindful of the content you're allowing into your spirit. So whatever your gates being your eyes, your mouth, your nose, your ears, what are you listening to? What are you taking in? Because garbage in, garbage out. So if you're like, you know what, I want some of this. I want to try this. What's the low-hanging fruit? When you're scrolling on your socials, is it in alignment with the life you want to live, with the mindset and the energy you want to give off? If it's not, you got to start unfollowing and choosing some more folks to follow.
I love that.
Yeah.
That is super easy.
That's super easy.
Yeah.
Drink more water.
Everything starts with water.
All good advice.
Drink more water. I love that. I know we talk about how my social is filled with animals and astrology.
That's pretty much it.
Pretty much.
because that's what makes me happy.
Yeah. Mine, if you were to look at mine, you're probably going to see a bunch of thought leaders and psychology. Like, because I'm always interested in the crossover with the mindfulness, the psychology, and I'm always looking for life hacks. I'm just, yeah. And you would also see a lot of AI stuff because I'm like, what? AI is here to help make this stuff easier in some capacity.
Yes.
You are, I would say, you picked it up real quick and you already seem brilliant. You're our AI expert. That if we have any questions, we're like, go call Vivian. She knows about
She
this.
knows what
She knows
what
how
the,
to hack
what
this.
the prompt is. She knows which one to use, like all the things.
I love it.
I do too. It's amazing. I could not imagine trying to solve for things now without AI because it's, the search engine, it's the search engine. It's
Yeah,
the research.
Agreed. So question for you. When you went through that spiritual awakening, and again, we talked about 2018-ish, started getting more into the woo, did you feel or do you feel today that you still have to keep that part of yourself away from your corporate identity, or do you merge them?
I'm talking sun, moon, rising, the people on the phone. Like, you must be a Leo. What do you? No, my birthday's in May. I'm like, no, but do you know your moon?
Yeah.
Do you know your
What's
rising?
your rising?
What's your rising? And they're like, wait, what? I'm like, here, go here. And
Put in your birth information for me real quick. Let's go.
so if it comes up and I'm very gentle with it, and if someone's like, oh my God, I love this stuff, and then we just take off. But if they don't really pick it up, I don't keep going with it. I'm like, because I don't push it,
Yeah.
but I don't hide it.
Yeah. And it's worked out for you.
I'm quick to say I'm a 5, and I got heavy 6 energy, and people are like, what?
What do you mean? You don't know your numerology?
You don't know your numerology.
First things
Love that.
first, before we continue this conversation.
Yeah.
Write down your numbers. Yeah.
That's amazing. I haven't met a lot of people who can integrate so easily. For me, I certainly, we talked about this. I hid that part because I got weird looks and I was worried about being judged.
Well, and I think too, ours happened a little differently. You were in corporate when you were going through it.
Yeah.
I was not. I reintegrated back into corporate after. So it's like, I'm bringing it with me.
Yeah.
And having people around me who were interested in it as well. And then more people came, and then a team talking about like, oh, for lunch one day, let's just pull our charts and see what we are. And
well, and I think what's interesting, what you just said made me think about it, which is a lot of people are probably more like me, hiding it. And when you open the door, it's like, oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
I don't have to be a closet astrology,
yeah, I can
person.
still love God
Yes.
and this. Like, I
Yes.
can still have my spiritual beliefs and my fundamentals, how I was raised. And then I can also, I can make it
Supplement.
mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do it my way.
Well, and I think I wish a lot more people would. Dana was very open as an astrologer at work, which I loved. And people
It took
pretty
a
into it.
minute. I mean, I wasn't in 2019. I wasn't saying, "Hey guys, I'm taking these astrology classes." I wasn't saying that at work. But it would trickle out, and kind of like you, Vivian, I would sort of pick up a vibe from somebody, and I might drop a little nugget, and if they picked it up, we'd have a full conversation. But it wasn't like I was sitting in a meeting saying, "Tell me what your rising sign is, because this isn't working. I need to know what your Mercury is because we're having this communication." No, I wasn't doing that by any means. And I think
Maybe you should have.
maybe I should have. I think it really started to be a little bit easier for me is when I started down the sound healing path. And I was like, oh, everybody loves yoga. People are into meditation now. This is just like a laying meditation. And the sound bath didn't seem so foreign as give me your birth information.
Yeah.
And then I know all your childhood wounds.
Yeah. Well, the birth information is what throws people, I think, a
does.
lot of times. They're like, you're just from my birth date, you're going to tell me you know me. And it's like, yes, I am.
Yes, I am. I think that when I started doing the sound baths at work, because again, mindfulness and wellness has become big words in corporate, that I always open with what's happening astrologically. And that kind of sets the tone for the energies we're going to work on in the sound bath. So that's really what opened up the, oh, astrology. I'm like, I know. So the sound bath was how it sort of like was that gateway in corporate that made it a little bit easier than me just coming out and be like, I'd love to read your chart.
So I thought Corri told me one day things were just crazy and you just pulled out your bowl at work and you just started playing and everybody just kind of, you were doing the sound bath and everybody stopped and just kind of.
Honestly, that's actually a really good approach.
Yeah. And I'm just going to whip this out in the meeting. Oh, I did that. I was actually on a Teams call. It was a Friday, so I was working from home, and I was getting ready to do a sound bath at the office, and it's optional. And the people who were on this meeting, they're like, oh, we saw you're going to do this. I don't even know what that is. I'm like, oh, let me show you. And I ran and got one of my smaller bowls and I started playing it. And they're like, oh, wow. Just like,
It's so soothing.
I was like, so come to the full event. And some of them did.
When do you feel like your intuition kicked into high gear? Because you're psychic. And did you notice like the switch was flipped, or was it gradual?
Trusting myself over everybody else's opinion, advice, because there was a time that if you were to ask me something, I would talk for a few seconds and I would say a person's name and they said, well, somebody said, this person said, this person said. It was always a mentor, a coach, or a family member, aunt. Somebody else was the authority. I don't believe I tapped into that until my Chiron return. So, yeah, 48, 49. Like there was a pretty recently where it's like, I don't need advice on this one. Like I am the authority. I know, and I can trust what I'm getting. To me, trusting myself for myself helped with the intuition. Because if I didn't trust that I had the best advice for myself, then the intuition thing was a non-starter.
Yeah,
So
that makes a lot of sense. I think we all, I think it's natural, or at least we've been conditioned maybe to look for answers outside of ourselves and look for someone else to be the expert, when really it's about remembering in this lifetime that we are our own expert.
and trusting that, like getting to the place to trust. And to go back to try to answer the question more, I feel like there was nothing else left. Nothing was working. I had nothing to lose by trusting myself.
And as you started trusting yourself, you just saw things were working out.
And it got louder and clearer. And I could follow the nudge. And then there would be affirming things. So I might think something and then something else would show up to affirm it. Like, yeah, that's it. Go, Viv. That's it. Yes, that's it. You're on to something. Keep going. Keep going.
Keep going.
Or no, don't, no. And I'm like, okay, I'm not doing that. Right. Don't do that.
Well, and it sounds like, again, the more you trusted yourself and your own wisdom, I don't want to use the word easy, but things seem to fall more into place than perhaps anytime you were seeking advice outside yourself.
There was less resistance. Yeah.
That's what they call the flow. Being in the flow.
Being in the flow.
Yep.
You're in the flow.
Yeah. Which is not a problem-free zone. I just have to keep tossing that
Oh,
in.
yeah.
It never is.
Expectations. We're going to change the expectation. Doesn't mean that stuff doesn't come up.
Yeah.
It just means that you can deal with it in a better way.
Yeah. And it's not a genie in a lamp either. Like things don't just like all the things that I'm thinking and I'm manifesting are not happening. Like, but the things that are happening, they're not as, I don't want to set this up wrong because it can be daunting and it can get on your nerves. But it's not as where you just stay in the bed or put your head in the sand where you can't, debilitating maybe. Perimenopause brain.
Yep.
You got to find your words.
Yes, words are hard.
Words are hard.
They are.
I want to ask you, knowing your whole journey, everything you're going through, and what you now teach to others, what does living a mindful life mean to you? Like, how would you describe living a mindful life?
Being present first, um, for me personally, because this is such a personal thing, it's how much can I maintain my posture without losing my shit as life is happening? How quickly can I get back? What's my refractory period? Um, so as things are happening, because they're never going to stop happening, how quickly can I say, you know what? I'll take care of it. Or, you know what? That's a beating. I'm going to bed. Like, I can't deal with that right now, whatever the case, or have the breakdown. But it's just not so much time spent suffering, which was a big thing for me, because my time suffering was, I don't enjoy suffering.
No, but I feel like human beings in general subconsciously like to wallow.
Some do.
There is a benefit you can get, and we talked about this in another episode, from the victimhood and from the suffering is you get attention, you get people's,
Sympathy.
pity and sympathy, you get validation maybe, because there can people be validating, oh yeah, that's a terrible thing to go through, but it leaves you in a space that doesn't feel good at the same time. So there's a trade-off there, and it just depends on your makeup and what you want to get and what you want to experience out of life. So yeah, some people really enjoy it. I am not one of them,
No.
but some people can. So when we talk about that, I think that leads into my next question, which was going to be, like you always say, what's the benefits package of living a mindful life?
Reduced suffering.
Reduced suffering. Okay.
Right? Because for me, that was my biggest, I don't like to suffer. I don't want anything that comes as a result of being a victim of something. I don't like it. I don't need let's get out of it. I want to get out of it. Yeah, there's a place for the nurturing aspect, to get it off your chest. But for me, it's like 10 minutes to an hour, maybe. I want the solution. So if I ever call someone and I'm talking about something, it's not because I need you to, like, oh, I understand that must be hard, tell me more. I need you to say, hey, have you tried?
Snap out of it.
When you call a projector.
Yeah. Have you tried? Well, maybe not snap out of it.
Maybe not call
Put
me.
your big girl pants on.
Put your belly aching.
Some solutions. Here's a way to make this better. Here's an approach that could give you the advantage you're looking for in this situation. Or it sucks. You had to, go back to the AC because one of mine are out right now. But I thought it was just clearing a drain. I think somebody came over and did something that's now going to cost an absorbent amount of money. And the thing that I thought was, this is ridiculous. And I wanted to go down the path of somebody needs to fix this, which I did file a complaint and I followed that. But then my other side of this was, I'll figure it out. I'll get it fixed. And then I mentioned it to someone and they said, oh, I have a guy. Let me send him over. Let me give you the number. Let him come over and see if that second opinion is the same, if it's the same cost. So it's not the end of the freaking world. It's inconvenient.
It's inconvenient.
And I've gotten to the place where I'm like, I'm living somebody else's dream. So this is what somebody else is sitting back wishing that, like, if they could take me out of my life and take over. And we used to play cards in Detroit, and they would call it Run a Boston. Run a Boston means I could take your hand and get all the books and you get none. I can win so much. And mindfulness for me is go back and realize somebody else could jump in your hand and just run a Boston.
And be thrilled.
That's really good perspective. And I think so many of us, because we're or dissatisfied with aspects, or there might be people who are dissatisfied with all aspects of their life, but let's say certain aspects, we try to live in the future of, when this happens, or when I go on vacation, or when, my house gets remodeled, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it's always pushing ahead but then you're losing sight of being in that moment. And I think that's what mindfulness is really helpful, to bring you in the present and stay focused, because there are so many blessings. They're headaches, but there are so many blessings to be grateful for. And I know for myself, and I'm sure you as well with kids, it's like you blink and they're going to be adults. But I think we get so caught up in trying to push ahead that we lose sight of what's important right in front of us.
And that's mindfulness. Stay right here, because this too shall pass, like the good and the bad. It's gonna be over with before you know it. So,
and I'd say another plug for astrology is, and I think it's been such a great tool for
Mhm.
us, because for me, always wanting to control, knowing when things are going to be challenging. I know, shocking, right? You're like, what? Who are you? Not
You
that
met Corri.
I know. But it gives us a sense of, like, right now, people, and we talk about Mercury retrograde, and people get so up in arms. It's such a negative. I now embrace the beauty of the retrograde, but knowing that things are happening, technology has been crazy, but I'm like, well, that's all right. Be patient. It'll, right itself. But having the flexibility and the understanding of things aren't always going to go well, but it's how you handle it. And you can get upset and flip a table, or you can just say, you know what, I'll come back to this later.
I call it the temper tantrum too. It's like, if we take a step back, like, these are all privileges.
Yeah.
We have good lives.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
The angst comes in because we want it even better.
And
that's great.
more.
And that's great. We're supposed to always want more, but I think that mindfulness keep it in perspective that this is amazing.
Yeah.
Now it can be better. It's great that we have the tools, the resources to fix all the things that go wrong, right?
Absolutely.
And to even have the things to go wrong,
Yes.
be it
Yep.
kids or appliances, whatever, whatever.
Yep.
So,
Well, we take those things for granted. So when an AC unit goes out, it's frustrating, but you're like, well, I'm so grateful I can afford to have AC. And to your point, it will get fixed. We'll figure it out. But
yeah,
it's a headache in the moment, because we're also used to having everything at our fingertips all the time. And we're very impatient.
very impatient.
Yeah. But I think with all these advancements, and there was continuing to be quantum leaps in those areas, it really does free us up from the human perspective to pursue other things,
Yeah.
to pursue the things that bring us joy, to create, to do something else, so we're not worrying about the spreadsheet or all the other stuff that AI can do for us, but in technology in general. I think I know we will see a lot of changes in those areas, but I think at the same time, it's to say, okay, then what else do I need to focus on? Being present in the now, because the now is all we have. And I do appreciate, well, not immediately, but eventually I appreciate the difficult times or the dissatisfaction with the current situation, because it's showing me what I don't prefer. And I'm like, okay, great. Now I know I don't prefer that. I could have told you that without the experience, but I know I prefer to have AC, and I know I prefer to pay a reasonable amount to fix it. Or free.
I'll take free.
I know what I prefer now from this situation. Usually after I have my mini tantrum, and then I can get to the better spot.
And it's like, can I try out some higher level preferences? Do I prefer Aruba over Tahiti? I don't know. Do I prefer?
You should go to both and find out.
But I gotta fix the AC.
Yes. Yeah. Choices.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily mean you won't ever get to it. It just means maybe not in the moment.
But I want it now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I want to go this year.
Yep.
It's like,
for sure.
Hey, Corri, why don't you pull a card for us?
Are you each going to give a spin on what this card means?
I think we should
To
let our
you?
guest Vivian
Ooh.
read the card.
How
Okay.
about I let you pull it?
Even better.
Let's see what you're feeling today. What do we have?
And
cannot make this up.
Stand still.
stand still.
Let me hold that here.
Oh my goodness.
As close as we could.
I mean,
It's like a crane in still waters with beautiful, I think it's mangrove trees, something like that. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, I feel like there are no words because we literally just talked about being in the moment, being present, and you drew the card that says, be present and in the moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what else
to get
is.
from that.
Yep. It says it all. It says it all. And what if somebody listening is like, well, what do I do after I'm still? Because I need to do something. I've been still. Now what? This thing needs to be worked out. What do you do with that?
Well, I personally think that in the moment of stillness is when inspiration strikes.
Yes.
And we don't take enough time to be still, so you can't be inspired or create. And we are creators.
Yeah.
And that actually, because there's color on this, is it pelican?
Yeah, some sort of pelican crane.
It's a bird,
It's a
crane,
bird.
something, but
a
it's
water bird.
it's got beautiful red, orange, yellow, and so I don't know if it's from the sun or whatever, but it reminds me that we are all creators, and when you stand still, you have a moment to think about what you want to create, and then you can go do.
Yeah. You allow it to come through.
Yep.
Because you're not autopilot. That when you're still and breathing, your parasympathetic nervous system gets to kick in, and you're not on this high beta. You move from fight or flight. Yes, thank you, perimenopause brain, to that rest and digest and that creative space. So yeah,
And I
that's
think
where the magic.
that's it. I was just gonna say that.
You
See,
were.
telepathy already, because that's exactly right. We don't give ourselves any time. We are constantly in reaction mode, and when you can stop for a second, man, it's amazing what pops in. And to your point, the magic happens.
Magic.
All right.
Cool.
Perfect. Love it. We are so thrilled that you joined us today, Vivian. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Such a fun conversation.
Your energy is just a bright light for us, and we have basked in it.
So good.
Enjoyed it.
So good.
So thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to put your information in the show notes. So if anyone wants to reach out, is that okay?
Love it. Yes.
Perfect. Awesome. Thanks, guys, for joining us on mindfulness and a whole bunch of other stuff we talked about today.
Stream of consciousness.
Yep. We'll catch you next time. Bye.
Thanks for catching up with us on the Cosmic Catch-Up. If today's episode sparked something in your soul, hit subscribe, leave a review, and share the magic with your fellow seekers. You can hang with us on Instagram at The Cosmic Catch-Up for behind-the-scenes updates and more cosmic goodness.
And if you're feeling the call to go deeper, we offer personal guidance through our individual practices. All the details are in the show notes. And if it's aligned, we trust you'll feel it. Until next time, keep following the magic. The content we share reflects our personal experiences, insights, and opinions. We're not medical, legal, or financial professionals, and we encourage you to always do your own research, trust your intuition, and seek guidance from qualified experts when needed. Take what resonates and leave the rest. This journey is yours to explore.